So welcome once again to your home. This is the home of all the hustlers in Kenya, and I know you are also hustlers. Sindio?
Yeah.
So my name is Susan Mangin. I'm the PS in charge of the State Department of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development. And today here we have called you to update you on where we are on the Nyota project. We realize that many of you actually have been reaching out to us as where are we, what is next, what is happening. So we just wanted to give you an update. And I'm accompanied here by the Director General of the Micro Small Enterprise Authority, our implementing agency of the business support component, as well as maybe Mr. Henry there, you can just say jump.
I'm Jamboni. Happy to have you here and thank you for your support. Thank you.
And then also we have the Secretary for MSME, Mohammed Doya.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Then finally we have the project coordinator for the Nyota support business component.
Thank you for being here, and thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It's called Mr. Patrick Muchunko. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we just wanted to give you updates on where we are on the Nyota project. More particularly on the ongoing mentorship program that is being undertaken across the country. So the Nyota project business support component has. Sorry?
There is a phone vibrating
Are
there.
you good?
There is a phone vibrating there.
So what do
One
we
of the
do?
phones.
Okay, we start again.
Weka airplane mode.
It's not my phone. So what do we do?
No, we are okay now.
continue.
Just
You
continue.
are okay?
Yes, yes.
You have told people not to call?
Weka airplane.
It was
Okay.
okay, so okay, thank you. So, like I said, today we want to update the public and most importantly, our Nyota beneficiaries for business support component on where we are with regard to the ongoing nationwide mentorship program. So the Nyota project business support component has been undertaking the nationwide mentorship program since 4th March 2026 across all the 1450 wards in the Republic of Kenya. The mentorship program includes site visits, business guide talks, experience sharing moments, cross-peer mentorship, and networking session to enable beneficiaries to start and grow their businesses. The mandatory mentorship follows the nationwide disbursement of the first tranche of Nyota business support, startup capital to the 121,800 beneficiaries, 121,800 beneficiaries as part of the three-pronged pathway of enterprise development, business skills training, funding, and mentorship. To date, 94% of the beneficiaries who received the first tranche of startup capital have been successfully taken through the mentorship program. 98% of them have already started their businesses. The remaining 2% are in the process of starting their business and are being handheld by the mentors. The mentorship program has revealed that 65% of the mentees, or rather of the beneficiaries, are first-time entrepreneurs, while 19% have less than 1 year of business experience. A further 13% have between 1 and 3 years of business experience, while only 3% have been in business for more than 3 years. This shows that the Nyota business support is largely supporting emerging entrepreneurs who are at the early stage of building their businesses. In terms of gender distribution, 51% of Nyota business support beneficiaries who have undergone mentorship are female, while 49% are male, reflecting a near equal gender parity in the Nyota project. In terms of the sector, agriculture, livestock, forestry, and fisheries sectors have emerged as the most popular business sources, accounting for 41% of Nyota entrepreneurs. So 41% of Nyota entrepreneurs are venturing in those sectors. This is closely followed by wholesale and retail sector, which accounts for 26%. Fashion and design account for 11%. Beauty and cosmetics account for 7%. Other sectors which are also popular include ICT, manufacturing, tourism and hospitality, as well as transportation and storage. So you can see that our beneficiaries are venturing in a wide and diverse sectors of business. The nationwide mentorship program was scheduled to end today, 31st March 2026. However, we have extended the deadline to the Wednesday 8th of April 2026 to give the remaining 6% of the beneficiaries who are yet to undergo mentorship to take up the opportunity. Remember, I said 94% have turned up, so we have a gap of 6% that we have extended so that you can come also forward to benefit. The mentorship program is a mandatory requirement for the second business skills classroom training, and beneficiaries who have not yet engaged with their mentors are therefore urged to contact the constituency Nyota project coordinators immediately so that they take advantage of the extension that we have given them. The conclusion of the mentorship program will be followed by the second mandatory business classroom training scheduled to commence on 15th April 2026 in all constituencies across the country. Upon the completion of the business skills training, the beneficiaries will receive their second tranche of Nyota Business Support Startup Capital of 25,000, with 3,000 being savings under the Haba scheme by NSSF, and this will bring the total disbursement to 50,000 shillings per beneficiaries as per the project design. The disbursement of the second tranche of business startup capital is earmarked to take place before the end of April 2026, actually by the end of April 2026, paving the way for the second mentorship period that will now introduce a beneficiary to the MSME ecosystem for enhanced business support. Beneficiaries from Dadaab and Kakuma refugee camps. You remember also the project was providing for 5% opportunities to the young people in the refugee camps, the gazetted refugee camps of Dadaab and Kakuma, also to participate alongside their host community. So their training will commence in April and May in the respective regions alongside the host communities. So there will be supporting a further 5,000 from the refugee camps, the 2 refugee camps, and then 5,000 from the host communities, the constituencies that host these refugee camps. So there will be obviously additional benefit to the constituencies, to the young people from within those constituencies that are hosting the refugees. So the Nyota project has also extended economic engagement opportunities to graduate level youth participating in training as well as mentorship program. Over 3,600 trainers and 5,500 mentors have been engaged to support the Nyota entrepreneurs, and these are a diploma and a graduate level young people. So it's not just benefiting young people who have not progressed beyond secondary education level, but even for the graduate, the diploma, college and university level are also getting opportunities for training and also for mentorship. So this is the end of the statement, and I want to thank you all, and we will just talk about 3 questions probably for clarity. Thank you. So, a question on the grant. So, the startup capital we are giving to our young beneficiaries or Nyota beneficiaries for business support component is a grant. They are not repaying. They are not expected to pay back. However, the only repayment or returns we expect from them is when they invest in their businesses, so that their businesses can support and create job opportunities for them. This is a huge return, not just to the government, but then to the economy. Because if they get engaged in the economy, they have a source of income, then that's the most significant returns that we need. So it is not a loan we are advancing to them, it is a grant.
To us, the money we're getting from World Bank, is it a grant or is it a loan?
Let me ask you a question. So, are we, if you, let me put it this.
Okay.
If you borrow money from any of the commercial banks to invest in your ventures, first of all, this is your money, right? It comes to money. So what you acquired from the World Bank is a loan that will be paid back. But we get this loan to support our development initiatives, of which developing young people, enabling them, providing them with an opportunity for economic empowerment is also a development agenda. So it's a loan that will be paid over time. And one of the returns of paying, how do we pay back the debts that we have, foreign debts, including even the loans, the concessional loans from development partners, World Bank, and many of those institutions? When we generate revenue, how do we generate revenue in this country? When these young people, over 100,000 of them, if they engage into businesses, they expand the tax bracket. Now we have a lot of business engagement there. People buy, they sell, they make profit, and that's how we get the revenue that then meets our debt obligation. Yes.
Maybe just a follow-up. So how much has been disbursed so far?
So far we have disbursed 25,000 to 25,000 shillings to 121,800 beneficiaries. So you can do the maths. We are talking about over 3 billion that has been disbursed as the first tranche to these young people. You can do the maths. It's about 3 billion and something that has already gone there. 22,000 is what they were receiving, 3,000 goes to their savings.
Maybe one last question.
Yeah.
The loan that we got from World Bank, what are the repayment terms?
So, first of all, the World Bank and us, we have a partnership. So before you even ask about the repayment terms, you want to ask about what is the outcome. Because World Bank have said several times that their agenda is about job. In fact, they say they have 3 agendas in this country. First one is job, the second one is jobs, and the third one is jobs. So we come in as development partners. They offer financing at concessional, it's very concessional level. And sometimes it can be negotiated, especially when they start seeing the outcome. You see these young people, like what we've been seeing during the mentorship period, that you have 98% of the 94% we've reached out have already started their business in itself. It shows that there is impact. So it's so much about the impact, the returns. So the terms and everything else depends. In fact, you pay more if the money is not being utilized. If you see most of these loans where the government pays you pay commitments on that which is not absorbed. But where you're absorbing the money, everybody is happy that the money is going to support the intended growth and will bring out the intended objective. So if you are asking about the rate could be about 1.5 there, which is extremely very concessional rate that you may not get. It all depends. So, and again, I'm really avoiding to answer this because this belongs to the National Treasury, because they're the ones who negotiate these resources. But from the document, and it's all this information is outside there. If you have to look at it, So we have those structured that can go beyond 10 years or even up to 25 years, depending. And you all have this opportunity even to extend or to work out, but it's 10 years and
All right.
yeah.
Thank you.
Question.
Yeah.
Out of the 100,000 plus beneficiaries that Nyota Fund has funded, what is the percentage of the people who have used the money in a good way in starting business? Do you have a strategy on how you guys are going to keep everyone on their toes with the money?
So for the last 1 month that we've been doing the mentorship, I've already given out the statistic as they are, because we already have a monitoring system. And this money, if you recall during the disbursement, this money was being given through the Pochi. So the Pochi La Biashara, is embedded with digital tools, which can enable us to follow up to see how you're spending. Are you spending directly to pay bills, or are you withdrawing? And even we can be able to follow. You see, with the pay bills, we use some sort of tracks. We are able to tell you this pay bill was for business, or you are purchasing ABCD. And like I have said, and I've given it even in this statement which I'll be sharing with you, that 98% of all those who have come forward for the mentorship have already started business. And so we can conclude that indeed they got the money and they have already initiated their business. So they're already spending the money in a productive way as it was intended.
Okay, madam, you have spoken about graduates being the beneficiary of Nyota funds. So when does that happen, or it's a service?
Well, I have so because of the interest that we have seen emerging, especially when we were rolling out during the application process, where we had more than 200,000 of the applicants who were either diploma or rather, let me just say, college and university level graduate. And increasingly, as now the success of Nyota starts to emerge, we are receiving requests and ask even from the graduates, those who are in colleges, those who are in university, saying that look, even as we need these opportunities. So based on that now success, we're also thinking maybe in future as we roll out other phases, we may need to provide also a certain portion that to say this percentage can then also support the graduate level graduates, so that then we include them. Because already the success of Nyota, if people have received this money and they have already started doing something, if we extend that support to the graduate, then the impact is likely to be very much on them. But at the moment, where the graduates are directly benefiting is through service providers, where they engage either as trainers, because you cannot train if you don't have some level of skilling, so as trainers or as mentors. So that's why I say there is also an extended support benefit to the graduate level youth, as opposed to what people are saying, oh, this is not where is this best. At the moment is from the training and mentorship, but then the subsequent intakes, we are looking at also including some percentage, some segment of the graduate youth. And last question, you okay?
Yeah.
Mko sawa leo? Watu